When I first entered the room, I did something I've done countless times in my career. I counted. And it started when I walked into my first engineering class over 15 years ago. I counted then 10 women, myself included, in a room of 60. Many years later, I was leading an AI product group. I found myself still counting. 7 women on a 40-person team in a customer deal room. 3 women of 20. I kept counting and I kept counting because the numbers never added up. Yet, I never stopped believing that it could. Many years ago, I launched an AI community that started with just 15 of us learning AI together. And that snowballed into an AI learning curriculum that's touched tens of thousands of learners around the world. Back then, our mission was simple: to bring more women in AI jobs. Fast forward to today, and generative AI is not just automating repetitive tasks. It is rewriting every job description on the planet, from teacher or lawyer to farmer or fashion designer. AI today is like electricity in 1882. It's flowing through everything and it's powering an entirely new way of work. Yet, amidst all this transformation, there's a blind spot. Let's look at the current leaderboard. Women make up about half of the labor force, yet they're only a quarter of the global AI workforce. And when you look at research roles, think deep learning research, model architectures, and so on, this number falls below 1 in 5. And it gets worse. In study after study, there's been 18 plus studies that came out in the last year or so across 140,000 people around the world in different countries, from the US to Sweden to India and Australia. Across all these different segments, they found that women are using GenAI 10 to 40% less than men. I'm talking different occupations, from postdocs to business owners. Across each of those segments, there was a large, considerable, and meaningful gap in how the different genders were using GenAI. And if you think about the fields that AI is disrupting first, like healthcare or education or HR and communications, these are fields where women have had traditionally really strong positions. There's 57% women in these roles. So if you think about it, the very groups that AI is disrupting first are using it the least. And when we dig into why this is happening, there's 3 patterns that emerge. The first is the confidence cliff. Women consistently report lower familiarity and lower knowledge when it comes to using GenAI tools. They're less confident than men on their expertise and knowing how to use them effectively. Many even feel like they have to go through formal learning before getting the access to start using it. Second is the fear of backlash. This is where women have a perceived fear of being judged harshly for using GenAI. In the workplace, this could mean something like, is my manager going to think I'm cutting corners if I use GenAI? Or in school, this could mean something like the use of GenAI feeling like it's cheating or plagiarism. Third is the skepticism of impact. Surveys show that on questions like, will AI positively impact you and help you advance your career? Or do you think that AI will have a positive effect on your country? Women consistently report lower optimism levels than men. And they report higher concerns on the risks and biases associated with AI. So they're much more focused on the downsides and less on the upsides compared to men. I also want to highlight what's not the problem here: access. In a controlled trial of more than 17,000 people, male and female entrepreneurs, they gave all of them access to ChatGPT and access to education and training around it. And even when the access to using GenAI tools and the knowledge was equalized, women still used Gen AI 13% less than men. And this gender gap persisted. This gap matters for several reasons. First, women's careers. We all know that productivity is the new performance metric. A 20-something% usage gap today can easily translate into a pay and promotion and leadership gap tomorrow. Also, we need women to be using AI, to be building AI tools, to make sure that these systems and models are built with consideration for biases. Because without their intervention, the AI tools that we're developing will continue percolating the same biases and stereotypes we've had for years. But the best way to predict the future is to co-create it. Now, in order to address the solution, we need everyone from corporations to academia to even public sector to be involved. But today, I want to focus on what all of us as individuals can do. Everything worth remembering needs an acronym. So I want you to remember that the goal is to win with AI. First, it starts with weaving AI into your life. Start small. Do a simple time audit of all the tasks you're doing in your daily life. This will help you identify tasks that you're doing multiple times, or you're spending too much time on, or even tasks that are soul-sucking for you. The goal is to pick one, just one, and start using AI to help you with that. For me, long-form writing feels arduous, and I use Copilot to generate first drafts of everything from emails to project plans and even blog posts. I'm never starting from a piece of blank page ever again. Then this is supposed to be fun. Make sure you're using AI in your personal life too. You can use AI for meal planning, generating your new workout routines, or even writing a bedtime story for your kids. The goal of this step is to build AI habits. Start using AI in your day-to-day. Next is to iterate and improve. Research also shows there's a positive correlation between AI usage and the number of experiments people do. This step is learning how to play with your prompts and see how it changes. For instance, on the last cold, rainy Boston Sunday we had this weekend, I had a few friends over, and I used AI to generate 10 ideas of activities we could do. I then went in, added a budget. I also went in and then added some mutual interests that we all have as a group. And as I kept changing the prompts, the results kept changing. In your workplace, this could look something like when AI generates a first version of text for you. Ask it to rewrite it for an executive decision maker. Or ask it to rewrite it maybe for a skeptical CFO. Or maybe summarize it into a haiku. Then the goal for this step is to keep iterating, keep experimenting. But as you do this, what you're doing is you're learning what works. You're learning when Gen AI works, you're learning when it fails, and research on how to make your prompts better. You can play with your prompts, and as you learn how to prompt AI effectively, continue leveling up. Maybe you move from automating tasks to automating entire workflows. One of the workflows I've automated is how I gather news from different sources of information and summarize that for myself every morning. Next is nurture and elevate. This step is all about making sure you're elevating others as you rise. Don't do this alone. Make sure you're sharing your wins. Now that you've mastered your prompts, create a document, call it Steal My Prompts, and share it with everyone on your team. Ask them to add in their favorite prompts too. Share your AI wins with others around you. On WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, maybe even your family text thread. What you're doing as you do this is you're making the use of AI more visible and making these tools appear more accessible as well. And what you're doing when you show them how you can create entire mobile apps from just natural language prompts is you're also showing others around you that AI is not just for technical people. And these may not seem like big steps, but in combination, these small steps can help create ripples that can turn into waves of AI transformation. When you leave here today, in the spirit of simple, small steps, I want to challenge you to take one action. Share what you've learned, try a new AI tool, or mentor a colleague and help them get into AI. The AI revolution is happening, with or without us. Let's make sure it happens for all of us. Thank you.